The AK5 Battlefield Box Cutter. This is one of Damon Lusky's designs from Alfa Knife in northern Georgia, a custom knife maker that really has a very fine, well quality fighting knife. And this is one of the Wharncliffe blade designs, and the original Wharncliffe is made for utility. It was actually designed back in the 17 and 1800s as a sailor's knife, made for cutting rigging and using for different chores that were on ship. And because of this blade design with a straight edge and with the point being focused right here, it's an incredible fighting knife, piercing, but it also is excellent for just cutting. It is made from 01 tool steel, which is a cold work steel, and it's a carbon blade. So I really like high carbon bladed knives. They sharpen very well in the field, and that's one of the things about this knife is that it is a straight edge, so it makes it really easy to sharpen. The blade is 3 inches in length. The overall length is about 7 1/4 inches, and the weight on this is 5.5 ounces, which gives you a little bit of heft in your hand, especially if you're going to use the power to push forward. And of course you can see that it's a convex grind, but he has been going more lately to the hollow grind. It does have an acid finish to it, and this protects the blade, but it also darkens it and makes it better for more tactical uses. It has G10 scales that are very aggressive and grippy, and it's not just a flat finish. It's not like with texturing. It actually has convex and concave areas to really give you a very good secure feel for this knife. I mean, you get a good grip on this knife and it's extremely fits comfortably in the hand. But it also has holes drilled here and here. You can put a lanyard here if you want, or you can attach this as a spear if needed in more of a survival situation. But the finish on the blade and the scales is just extremely well done. And then right along the top it has the maker's marks Alfa Knife. Now the pommel comes to a point, and this is great for a non-lethal option to be able to use as an impact tool, and also for glass breaking. And of course that is a full tang design, and it's really nice and sturdy. And that's one of the things I really like about a good quality knife, is not the thin blade. It keeps vibration down, and it gives you a lot more power. And this is a really incredible piercing knife. In fact, it's really made for fighting. And one of the things about this kind of tip design is that the power is pushed all the way to the tip. So when you're pushing through, it allows all the power to go right here. And what that's going to do is going to cause deep tissue damage. If you ever have to use this in a self-defense situation, it's going to be highly effective. There's nothing better than to demonstrate with a nice piece of meat. The knife just goes in. You can see where it just enters really quickly. That point, getting a hold of it, pushing, so you're going to get a lot of action immediately. Slides right in. It almost goes into a downward motion because you're getting the top of the blade. So you're going down. Really effective fighting knife. A lot different than this CRKT Foresight, which is a Ken Onion design, and it has more of a belly. And so your point here, the power is going to be transferred as the blade moves. With a straight point, it goes straight in. All the power is right here on the tip. But for more of your everyday uses, I mean, this does make an excellent utility knife. Really great for cutting. It's really good for even if you want to use it as an awl because of this small tip. And traditionally, these have been well received as a whittle, using for whittling and scrimshaw. And that was one of the things that was used on ships with the sailors. So it does give you a lot of detail with this tip, and it just makes it a nice knife. Now with this particular knife, it's not all that great for whittling because of all this design that's going on with the scales. But once you get a hold of this knife, you're not going to slip, it's not going to let go. It has a really short choll, but then your guard is deep. And then with this curve right here on the back of the spine, it gives you a really good secure fit with your hand. And you're not really going to have to worry about the blade slipping in your hand, especially with your index finger. The texturing of the grip does feel your hand when you get a hold of it. And with the deep recesses here and here, it almost gives you a finger groove finish. But yet, you can turn this and get a good gripping surface no matter what direction you have it in, even with a backhand position. Of course, being a utility knife, it's excellent for box cutting. One guy I read in one of the blade forums uses this design for carpet cutting because it really gets that point down and it'll cut the carpet extremely well. And then also it'd be great for food preparation. So if you're in a survival situation, this would be an excellent knife for chopping and cutting different vegetables or meats or whatever with this design. And also, of course, they're going to be easy to cut. Look at those thin slices. And also, it could be lunch. Of course, this isn't a battlefield. You can tell how the tip just really breaks through. You need a hole in leather. Just pierces right through. Make you a nice little hole. Cuts through cordage, even a lot of cordage. Just take webbing, zip right through it. But one of the things that this is not recommended for is for hunting or skinning. And it's not really a skinning knife. It doesn't have the curve that allows you to get in under the meat. So this would really be more of a design for, again, to me, I carry this knife as a fighting knife or a self-defense knife. And this goes on my gear. In fact, I use it on my Infidel war belt. One of the things I like about this type sheath is that I can strap this anywhere on any of my gear, just like this US Grunt Gear Infidel war belt. Molly attachments would be fairly secure, but you're limited. So I really like this kind of setup. Just a little paracord and secure it in, and you're good to go. Now you can get a sheath made by Alfa Knife that goes with the knife, but this is extra, and it's around $40 for the sheath itself. Very high quality Kydex sheath, very well rounded. That way you can attach a tech lock or however you want to do it, and I'm sure that he can do different styles to suit whatever needs you have. Fits right here on your belt, easy to draw. One of the things about South Carolina, which it really makes me proud, is that we can carry fixed blade knives and there's not really any legal definition for what you're carrying, as long as you're not carrying it with the intent to do a crime. So, you know, carrying maybe a Bowie knife on your hip or a K-bar will probably raise some, some interest from law enforcement. But, typically you can carry whatever you want to. The only thing you need to be careful of is municipalities in certain counties. And the county that I live in, they restrict it to a 3-inch blade. So this is a 3-inch blade, and so this makes it legal for me to carry here in South Carolina. But one thing, guys, wherever you live, make sure you check the laws for your specific, not only state, but also for the county you live in and the municipalities, because sometimes certain townships won't allow you to carry a fixed blade knife. And in fact, a lot of states won't allow for fixed blade carry. So just make sure you check your laws before you start carrying a fixed blade. The AK5 runs $160, and that's a good price for a custom-made knife with this quality. And of course, then you want to add your extra holster here, so that would get you up to about $205 for the combination. He does make a lot of different custom knives. He can custom make your grips as well, whatever you want, because he does custom work. So check out alphaknife.com, and it's ALFA, not PHA. So check him out, and I think you'll find that the quality is exceptional, and especially with this AK5, I love it. I've been carrying this thing for a good while now, and it's just an exceptional knife. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. The grommet holes. Now, Damon will. Now, you can get a sheath included. It is made from 01 tool steel, which is a really excellent steel for knives.